Hello, friends. Thank you for joining me for another bonus episode in the series in which I'm sharing our family's experiences in the last year of our daughter Hannah's life, which spanned from February 2008 through February 2009. My desire is to process through the events of those 12 months with a perspective that 16 years has brought, and to point listeners to hope in Jesus along the way. I'm grateful you've joined me. Before I begin today's episode, I want to take a moment and express my gratitude to all of you who have been following these bonus episodes as I've relived the final year of Hannah's life. You've encouraged me and blessed me beyond measure with your comments and kind words. I had no idea there would still be so much interest in Hannah's story after 16 years, and it's been a bit overwhelming, yet humbly gratifying to see how God continues to use her life to touch others. Thank you for encouraging me and allowing me to continue to share. Today's episode is number 188, From Anger to Peace, February 27th, 2009. Most families don't have the opportunity to prepare for their child's death the way we did. We had known for a year that Hannah's cancer could be fatal, and even though we prayed earnestly for earthly healing, we knew from the beginning that God may choose to heal her in heaven. And of course, we eventually reached the point where we knew her death was a certainty, unless He dramatically intervened. So in the final days of her life, we frequently discussed what her actual passing might be like. We'd been assured that it would be a peaceful ending when the tumors on her brainstem caused her to simply cease breathing, and that's how we imagined it. It would be a beautiful moment as we sang hymns around her bed, maybe even getting a glimpse of a smile on her face as she got her first peek into heaven. But as you know from yesterday's episode, this was not the case. Hannah's last hours on this earth were not peaceful or beautiful. I don't believe that Hannah was conscious of anything in those last several hours of her life, and I am convinced that she did not suffer. In fact, her soul may have already been in heaven as her body struggled. But those final moments were excruciatingly difficult for us. When I went to bed that night, for the first time since Hannah's diagnosis, I found myself angry at God. Really, God? After all she had been through, as faithful as she had been, as much as she had suffered, why did it have to be so ugly at the end? How could He have let this happen? If anyone deserved the beautiful homegoing with a cappella hymns and peaceful smiles, surely it was Hannah. I angrily complained to God into the wee hours of the morning. Once I'd had my say, He very quietly reminded me, my son did not have a peaceful, beautiful death either. The moment those words entered my mind, my arguments and complaints were abruptly silenced, and I could physically feel His peace wash over me. In the calm that followed, I was finally able to sleep. The next morning, the three of us headed to the funeral home to make arrangements. Choosing a casket just about did me in. Walking into that hushed, dimly lit room with caskets displayed like new cars on a showroom floor was one of the most unnatural things I had ever experienced. That is a decision no parent should ever have to make for their child. But it must be done, and we did it, choosing a beautiful but simple oak container for our daughter's body. We already knew that the casket would remain closed for both the visitation and the funeral. Hannah had attended a funeral with us not long before she was diagnosed, and it concluded with the attendees filing past the open casket and looking down at the dearly departed loved one. We had barely gotten out of the funeral home when she declared, "I wouldn't ever want people to walk by and look at me like that when I'm dead." She was quite adamant about that, and knowing her personality like we did, we knew she meant it. Knowing this about her, and aware of the fact that she looked nothing like most people remembered her, there was never any question. The casket would be closed. Here's my email from 16 years ago today. A visitation has been scheduled for Saturday, February 28th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Hot Springs Baptist Church. A celebration service will be held on Sunday, March 1st at 2 p.m. at First Baptist Church in Hot Springs. A private family burial will be held on Monday, March 2nd. Now we know that if the earthly tent we live in is destroyed, we have a building from God, an eternal house in heaven not built by human hands. 2 Corinthians 5:1. We are so thankful for the 17 years we had with Hannah here on this earth and are looking forward to our reunion with her in heaven. God is good all the time. Jill, Brad,